What's up, guys? Welcome to the Chingona Achievement Hour, the podcast that's normally not an hour, but it's supposed to be an hour. It might be an hour today. I want to introduce my guests, which are the Waves team,
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Louis, Trey, and Vito. You guys, they're a little nervous, but these guys in real life are hilarious. I should play back some videos for y'all so you can relax.
You should. You should.
Yeah, give
You
us.
should. But give us about 10 years, some NDAs to sign on.
He's like, my NDA wears off in 10 years.
Right.
No, but today we're gonna just be talking about, their restaurant, Waves, how they started. We'll talk a little bit about their entrepreneur journeys. We'll talk a little bit about them. Just kind of introduce you to my audience. Y'all are big Las Cruces. You can't go anywhere without somebody saying hi to you. I actually don't like going anywhere with Louis because if it's like from here to the door, he's gonna be stopped by like 20 people before we get to the door. And I'm like, I'm trying to eat lunch, dog. Like,
Yeah, though.
yeah, but so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about a little bit about mental health. June is Men's Mental Health Month, and I'm a huge advocate about mental health and men talking about it. So I want to say thank you guys for sharing your journeys beforehand and being vulnerable because mental health is not easy for everybody to talk about. So, but yeah, go ahead and introduce yourselves to everybody.
Shoot. It's a true blessing. Thank you so much again for having us. Like these are my brothers right here, and literally, like without them, there's no waves. Without you guys, the support of the community, there's no waves. So, we definitely appreciate just being here and asking us to be on here, just so we can share our story to hopefully inspire someone out there. Because I think that's one of the most valuable currency is inspiration.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, if you're out there, you're listening, wherever you're at in your path, man, you got it. Stay 10 toes down. Get strong friends, family, and just run with it. Ride the waves.
Right.
I was my turn. Okay. Well, kind of piggyback off what you say. Just surround yourself by people that love you and that you love, and just good people. Be around who you want to be. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Tell us a
I
little
love my
bit of
boys.
where you're from, like
Okay,
your
okay, okay, okay,
accent.
okay. All right. So I'm a little nervous. I'm sorry. All right. Can we? All right. Boom. My name Trey. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, of course. LSU Tigers. I'm Louisiana all the way. I love everything about it. Cajun, Creole, everything about Louisiana for the music, just everything. Yeah, and I'm just happy to be here with my boys, and I'm happy that CC got us here.
Yeah, so Trey actually used to work for Prados. So he was right out of NMSU actually.
Yep,
So he loves Louisiana, but he went to NMSU.
I did. I'm an Aggie. I'm an Aggie
We
for
Aggie, shit, they Aggie, all. I love it.
They're all Aggies.
Aggie.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so Trey, I actually call him Trappy Trey because I'm like, I know you from the trap. He's like, nah. No, but like one of the first things that I really, really liked about like you working here with me is that you were kind of just always open to like learning.
Yeah.
And so I feel like in entrepreneurship, that's one of the biggest things that you can take away from someone else is like what lessons do they have to teach you. And like you being here, we miss you like when you left and you like started working in Homeland Security and I was like, that's crazy like that you go from playing football to working at a cosmetics company to working for Homeland Security and then like now you're a full blown like entrepreneur. I know that like um that journey hasn't been easy, but like with both of you guys like starting and then like Vito coming in, like you guys just all through like the synergy, you could tell it like when you think about waves and you think about like your journeys, your personal journeys and where you've been, like none of that stuff would have been possible without those lessons that you got before
Most definitely.
you got here. So yeah, I commend you guys because that shit's hard. Like
Yeah,
it is.
most
It's
definitely.
really hard.
Most definitely.
Mhm.
Can you guys talk about that a little bit? Like what it was like to go from being like athletes and being like, you know, the star of the town and everybody like, and you guys choosing not to go pro because those were options. Like you guys were open to those options where you're like, no, we want a different life.
Well, it wasn't a big option, right? But going pro, I mean, it was more of a dream. But yeah, we do shoot. That's why we ended up here as football. We played sports. We played football specifically, for the Aggies. And it's just crazy to think because I didn't know that New Mexico existed until I got offered.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a dream to always go to the league, make it to the NFL. Because I'm Samoan, and but I was raised in Alaska and Hawaii, and so my family shoot is fishing industry. So you either working 12, 14 hours in the fishing docks, or you're going to the military, or you can try to go, play sports, get a free education. Because where we come from, not a lot of people,
Make
make
it
it.
out.
Yeah,
Yep.
whether it's education, career wise, there is no blueprint.
Right.
And so coming here is such a blessing because we learned a lot at NMSU, from the coaches to the players to the staff, and then the people in the community. So shifting, the mindset of I'm going to NFL. That's the only way to make my to get my family out
Right.
of poverty. Um, Shoot, when that reality wasn't when we went to slim to none, that was a cold, reality check. And for me personally, I was battling like my identity. Like everyone knew me for being stud athlete. Oh, he's gonna make it. He's gonna make it. He's gonna
Right.
make it. To now what? What are you doing next, Louis? So I graduated in 2019 with my undergrad, my bachelor's. I didn't know what to do next.
Right.
So got into boxing. I think he was still playing football, but there was just, a lot of things that kind of steered me to where I'm at right now. Like, so using my body, for example, like boxing, I did great. I went 7-0, made the national team for New Mexico. But then COVID hit. So right before the big national, tournament, I went in February. We're supposed to go to Oklahoma in March. Um, Boom, COVID hits. Everything shuts down. I trained for another like 3 months. And then after that, I'm telling my coach, bro, there's no money in this. No one's doing nothing. Like, I gotta go find myself. So, although COVID, shut everything down, it allowed me, it gave me some time to breathe. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
um, fast forward to being an entrepreneurship, it was one of those things where it's if you're gonna swing at something, let's swing at it now. Which took a couple years, after COVID, after 2020. But yeah, now we're here, and I think these guys will, kind of fill in the pieces to how we all met and how Wave started. It's not just a brand. We're a lifestyle.
Right.
Um, we you know what I mean? And then when you see Waves, like, "Hey, man, how did you guys, do this and that?" Shoot, create your own waves. You see something, you want something, go get it. And that's the same mindset that we all have. And
Right.
it just, that's how our family raised us. And yeah, and that's where I think we all like we have that synergy because of that. Um,
Right.
so yeah, that's a little bit about my student athlete background.
And shout out to you too, cause you motivated us watching you run a business and being a badass at what you do. So
Thank you.
shout out to you.
Yeah, I think a lot of the times when we talk about like entrepreneurship, we talk about business, like I met Vito playing volleyball and then I introduced Vito to Louis and then like it just went from there, but it was kind of like I think I think people just find each other and we talk about this a lot like in our communities how like it's not a mistake that people just discover or find each other. Like it's just not like a by chance type of thing. I'm a big like spiritual person. I believe a lot in like energy. I believe a lot in like everything happens for a reason. And so when I met Vito, it was just like, yeah, we're playing volleyball, but like that's a thing that Vito was comfortable doing because he's from Samoa. And so like coming here, he was like, "What can I find that is gonna connect me to this community?" So you were doing ROTC at NMSU, and then you were playing volleyball. I met you, and we went to El Paso to go play volleyball. And I was like, "Do you know Louis?" And he's like, "No." Like, you need to know Louis. Like, Louis knows everybody. Like, that is a good like segue for you to be introduced into this community in such a like powerful way. And so Vito is a guy of few words, if you guys cannot tell.
Introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself. Let them know who you are.
Yeah.
So, hi, my name is Vitolio, but you guys can call me Vito, she said. So, I was born and raised in Samoa, so that's up.
That's his up. That's his up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I came out here to actually play basketball,
Okay.
even though I'm not that skilled in basketball, but they choose me for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm out here and play basketball for a year and a half, and then I got a scholarship to go for our OTC. And then after that, I transferred here for our OTC here.
Mhm.
And then stuff going on in life,
Right.
that didn't go through. And I met this guy. So,
Well,
How
this
we met? Tell them how we met.
yeah.
okay. So I was going to volleyball, I believe, right? Volleyball, or I was going to work. I was driving from Anthony to Las Cruces, cruising on the freeway, and out of nowhere, this car hit me from the back.
Oh, dang.
Got into a big accident, and I didn't even know who to call. I call everybody I know here in Cruces, all my friends, even my sister. Well, I call her my sister. It's a family friend from back home. And Louis' phone number popped up. I said, let me call this guy. And then I called Lou, and Lou stopped everything he did to just come and help me out that night. So
Yeah.
from there on, we had a connection from there on. And
Yeah.
then that's where me and Lou just talked that whole night, waking up the next morning. Uh, Lou picked me up to take me to work, and we talked about like the food truck,
Mhm.
and that's where the wave starts. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
We didn't even
I was
have it
getting
yet. I
nervous,
just
but
we
It
was
was just an
trusting. Yeah,
idea.
it was just the idea. I picked him up. I was like, "Hey, Oos." So Oos means brother in Samoan, and of course, we're both Samoan. That's one thing that connects us very strong. And then we also have another connection we'll tell later. But yeah, as soon as we had talked about it maybe a couple days
Yeah.
prior, because we already were doing cookouts for our, our teammates and whatnot. So just a little idea, and then as soon as I picked him up, I'm driving. I was like, "Hey, Oos, what'd you think, man? I think I'm getting a food truck. What'd you think?" Man, it was automatic. It wasn't even no hesitation. He said, "Hell yeah, let's do it." He don't even know what, how we even
He's
operate.
all,
We don't got
"Fuck
one.
it.
Yeah,
What you
yeah. We
doing?"
don't got one. We don't, know where to get one. It was just an idea, but just automatic off rip. Like he was all in.
Right.
And you know what I mean? That's something that we all share. Like when we do something, it's not one foot in, one foot out. It's all in. And I think yeah, like one of the things that I love about, the most about these guys is well really what we all share. We have an idea, we'll kind of think about it, but for the most part, we're all always like we all in, so we're going in, there's no um thinking twice about it. So yeah, like you said, that's kind of how waves that the seed, got planted and started flourishing. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of was how we met. And yeah, he'll tell you we actually found out we're related 2 or 3 months down the line. You could tell him because his
Yeah.
experience watching it from the outside in. Because me and Che, we've been teammates, roommates for the last about 8 years.
Yeah.
8 years, and so he could kind of share, like, shed light on that story about bringing someone random because he lived
Yeah.
in
So,
Anthony, but he worked in Cruces.
yeah, I kind of speak on that. So, like, the day after he had his situation with the car wreck and stuff, uh, we all actually end up going to Anthony and just kicking it with Vito. And he was just a good guy. Like when I first met him, he's quiet, like you said, but
Yeah,
he's just a good guy. And I know good people, you know what I mean. And I know Louis is my brother, and he wouldn't be, you know what I mean, bringing someone
Right.
in, you know what I mean. And yeah, and it just kind of grew from that. And
threw my blankets,
yeah, because
just
yeah, he was staying over for a couple days. and he's Samoan, so he won't say nothing. He won't complain about nothing.
Yeah.
And our house, we keep our house at 60 degrees. So he's on the couch. I'm like, ooh, you wanna cover? He like, no. I'm like, all right, so I go back to the room.
Freeze.
I come back up and I just throw him a cover. I'm like, here, bro, we really on the cover. So yeah, man, Vito's he's solid. He's
Yeah.
Man,
and it just everything we all bring to the table is kind of what make Wave special, because we all have our own skill set that come together
Right.
and
And developing that, like, together is also, like, a challenge because I think people think that when you go into business and you go into partnerships with each other that it's all, like, gravy and that, like, it's just a success. It's not. Like, y'all are your own individual people. Y'all got, like, your whole lives of, like, journeys, and you're trying to it's like a relationship. You're, like, merging all of those things together, and so I know that sometimes it's challenging when you have ideas and the synergy's there, the energy is there. Trey, you're a huge energy person. Trey has traveled all over this country with me. Like he was more like a security guard sometimes. Like but when we did the JC Penney openings, like Trey was there. He went all over with me and he would like his face, his whole demeanor. I knew when I was in a safe space and I knew when I need to be like on edge because he's a big energy person. So watching these two big ass Samoans in a food truck and Trey right there, like it was just like I would step back and I would watch and I would just feel nothing but pride that you guys were all able to do something. And it was challenging. Like it was hard. It was hot. It'd be like the middle of the summer and they'd be in this little food truck, like pushing out plates and doing like everything they needed to do. And he would call me and text me late at night. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I'd be like, look, the challenging thing about this business is one, it's a learning curve for you because you know good food, you eat good food, you know good food. But when you start to package that and put it together and share it with your community, that becomes a conversation about what your value and what your worth is.
mhm.
And so, Trey, I think when you worked here with me, a lot of our conversations were about building your confidence around that you weren't just a football player
most definitely,
or a student like getting his master's anymore. Like now you had to see yourself in a different light.
most definitely.
And that was like for me, it was a journey that I had a responsibility to make sure that when you did go out into the world that you had at least those things.
Most definitely.
And having those conversations with you, Louie, around like how do I help my brother because you're also like having your own challenges trying to figure out yourself but then like help each other. I think that that's so important and I don't think men talk about that a lot. They don't talk about the mental taxing part about having to deal with yourself but then also caring for two people because I always tell our close friends that Louis and I actually bonded around trauma. We used to say like, well, we're just a bunch of like lost kids. Like we were just a bunch of lost boys. Like I'm not a boy, but I would say that we're gonna talk about these two. And then when Vito came around, I was like, not only is Vito like fresh off the island, but like he's trying to find himself in this different type of world because island life is a lot different than this life.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so you have Trey and Louie, and they're trying to just kind of figure it out. Like, can you talk a little bit about that? Like, are you comfortable sharing like
Oh yeah,
the mental aspect of it, like, and
yeah, for
how?
sure. I think it's very important to be organic and be authentic. So part of that is telling the ins and outs of you know your journey, and part of like you said, like running business is hard in itself. But then when you're doing it with brothers that you care and love for, that could be another challenge in itself. But I think with our backgrounds, coming from one culture in our culture, two the athletic background where it's okay to communicate loudly to get as long as the message that's getting across is um intentful, and you know what I mean, there's a goal. We all have a goal, and
We get real intense, CC.
yeah, 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 and
We
it's
do, we
and
do,
it's
we do.
fine. Yeah,
Right.
and that's the thing I would say. People are, I guess, maybe scared or afraid to not to be liked. You know, you kind of have to get over that. Like, it's not about being liked. It's about, you know, getting the mission accomplished. You know, we got a task we got to do. We got 200 people to serve. Uh,
And just like an hour or two.
yeah, yeah, in an hour or two, and guess what? We're gonna find a way to make it happen. But I would say that just, you know, the communication, you know, don't be afraid to communicate with your brothers and be like, hey, you know, because you guys gotta, especially with men, it's not normal to, how do you say, like, talk about how you feel or talk
Your
about,
feelings.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because we all got that, but, um,
I
you
know,
know,
trying to crack you, like, I
yeah,
you could come to me sometimes and be like, "Hey, like, I have this challenge, I have that." I'm like, "What is the deeper root?" And I'm a matriarch, I'm a woman, so, like, your mom passed away when you were younger, same with Trey, like,
yeah,
so having, like, that matriarchal mother, you know,
that's
whatever,
yeah,
I feel like that was something that also, like, you 2 needed, like,
hmm,
to have, like, a different perspective, but trying to get you, like, in your feelings, I think that was, like, that was a challenge because that was gonna be a whole day thing. It wasn't, like, a 30-minute meeting. It wasn't, like, a lunch. Like, that was gonna be, like, a whole day of, like, okay, you're opening yourself up into a different aspect, and I think that for men, when they have that type of, like, female presence in their life, it doesn't have to be romantic, it doesn't have to be any of those things. It could just be, like, someone who is there for you, that stands in the gap to help you see life from a different perspective.
sure.
That mental aspect of it, I think, changed a little bit for you when you were like,
Hmm.
you know, having a support system in a way that like she's gonna call me out on my shit.
Yeah, yeah, no,
She's gonna tell me what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, and then how do I fix it? And then like incorporating that into your life, like that was challenging. I know it's challenging for you, Trey, sometimes, but it was always like the follow up of I'm still here for you, like,
yeah,
and I think that that's why I feel like in friendships, um, I don't believe like men should just be friends with men. I believe that it's important for men to have friendships with women, um,
oh, for sure.
who see them in a not in a romantic way, but like are supporting them emotionally so that they can be the best versions of themselves.
Mm. Yeah, without females, man, the world don't go around. So it was definitely shout out to the queens out there.
Shout out.
We love you guys. I mean, like you said earlier, we how we kind of trauma bonded, man. That's why. Shoot, we already were brothers off rip because of football teammates, but
Let me speak on the
yeah, but
situation.
you know,
So basically, kind of like when the situation happened with my mom, we was still in college and stuff, but he was one of the first ones and one of the main ones that like really stuck by my side and like made sure I was okay, was checking on me, was picking me up. Hey, let's get out the house. So even though it may not seem like a lot at the moment, like that stuck with me for the longest, and like this would be like my brother for life, just
Right.
cause when I was at my lowest, I know he was there. And this even goes to like after football, cause that's a whole nother story itself. Like
Right.
it's stressful. You don't know what you want to do. But keep in mind, he did it. He dealt with that same thing 2 years prior. So he's really my big brother. He helped me through each step and struggle
Right.
that I had went through. So it's it created a great brotherhood.
shout
Right.
out to our mom. Shout out to our
Shout
mom.
out to moms.
Yeah.
Shit.
So it's like I think too, like the first year that like you were with me, like,
Mm.
and we celebrated Dia de los Muertos, and I printed out pictures of your moms and things like that. Like I know that was, something cool like for you to experience culturally, but like seeing that aspect and that part of it was, I think it was eye opening for me too, and realizing that like the support that I would be giving you, not just as your employer, but as your friend and someone who like wanted to see you do the best. I think that like shift the narrative. Also too with Vito, like when I would have conversations with Vito when we were driving, going to El Paso to go play volleyball, and I just be like, "What's up, Vito? Like, what do you got going on? Like, what's happening? Like, because you had challenges, not just that you were, far away from home, but also too like you're also trying to figure it out. I think that like the synergy between you three is that you've tried to figure out what you were gonna do with life, and then come like having that come together has been a beautiful thing because you do the one thing that is sacred to a lot of indigenous people, which is you feed people. Like food is medicine. I talk about this all the time. I talk about how food is medicine, like our food pathways, keeping our culture alive is done through food. And there's nothing like what you guys do here in Las Cruces. Like there is, but there isn't. And there isn't in the way that it doesn't taste the same. The value isn't the same. Um, I think also I'm a little bit biased because I've seen the journey from like start to what it is now. And so like can you talk about that a little bit, Vito? Because I know this wasn't your and we need to talk about how like you're not always gonna live in your plan A. And you're not even gonna live in your plan B, and you may not even live in your plan C, but like that's the cool thing about life, that every day is an opportunity for it to be the first day of whatever life you want it to be. How has that been for you, Vito?
Mhm. As coming from back home and our background as Samoans, it's really difficult for us to talk about what's in our mind. And coming here and learning a lot about like a lot of different stuff here in America, and then I shut myself down to a lot of people until I met the boys, and then they support me throughout this whole journey with the waves and everything. Throughout that, they were like my biggest supporters out here. Cause I got nobody else out here except my sister, but she lives in Hawaii now.
Mhm.
But living here with the boys, I mean, it's like my happiness with the boys.
Right. It's really more about like community. And we talk about like what does community look like to you as indigenous people, because Polynesians are indigenous people. And Trey's from Louisiana, but he's also like native in his family. And so like I remember the first conversations that we had about like the type of energy and the spirit that you're gonna have, not just in your workplace, but also like in your life. I was really trying to get him to tap into that part of like, if you know where you come from, like you know where you're going. And I say that a lot. I say that a lot to indigenous youth. I say that a lot to indigenous entrepreneurs. Like knowing where you come from, like sets a tone for where you're going, because it builds like a different type of understanding that unfortunately like the world and its system wasn't set up for us to thrive. So we have to shift a lot, and we have to, and that's the thing too. I talk about like finances, and I talk about money and how challenging that is to like work in that world where we used to just work in a handshake and a give you the word type system, where now it's like it's an exchange of money. It's an exchange of currency, and really like trying to value yourself, but also value like what you're doing in business. And so that was a lot of our conversations too when you were first trying, like, what do I charge? And it's like, well, what did it cost you? And it's not just about what it costs you like to buy chicken and buy all the things, but what did it cost you like with your time? And time is one of the things that is the most important thing to me in the world. Time with my kids is like number one. I will tell you, hell no. For something, if I know that it's scheduled around a kids tournament or Danielito, like y'all know Danielito, if I'm not there, he's
He a baller.
We
He
actually
baller.
seen him the other day.
Yeah, shout out that.
yeah, if I'm not there, you guys, he's like the most critical person about like what do you value? Do you value your business more, or do you value me? And so like having those conversations with you guys around like what's your value?
Mhm.
And I feel like a lot of men value themselves from a masculine perspective of like what they can do with their bodies, like especially athletes. I've seen y'all. Y'all play like I've seen we can't even go to restaurants. We went to where did we go? We went to some golf course, and there's this huge mural of freaking Louis, like, and it's like, and same with Trey, like, I've been to some of the events that you've invited me to for the NMSU and like people returning and stuff, and I'm like, these guys were doing big things in football, and now you're doing big things in business. Like, how do you tie that all in together about how you value yourself, how you see yourself, like how you price not just your food, but
Mhm.
how you price your time and like what you sign up for? Because I know you've learned to say no to a lot of things.
Yeah,
I'm like, you gotta learn to say no.
Yeah, it's yeah, no, you're right. It took me a minute. It took me a shoot. It took time. It took time. So I would say maybe even over a year. We've been at this over a year and a half. But as far as price wise, it was mainly because where I come from, we come from nothing like food bank food.
Right,
Um, like just being in elementary, I gotta go steal groceries. Middle school, like my man, like you know what I mean, because we got no food on the table.
right,
So when we started this business, it's like, man, like I see people, like, I know how it feels like to literally have nothing and to literally go out and go get your food. So it's like, um, we had a price. Our prices, I mean, they're at market price, but I would feel bad sometimes because I'm like, man, what if that's their last $15?
right,
You know, um, but that's where the time and my brothers came in too. Is like, bro, we provide something that's, you know, um, that's the community needs, and they enjoy, and so that's where our value, it comes with time. We put a lot of labor, a lot of sweat equity. We're hustlers. But going back to what you said about how do you translate football and then doing big things in football and going to entrepreneurship. My thing is, people always say we're in the hardest industry. Man, the restaurant industry, even from the jump, you're in the hardest industry. Good luck. You're in the hardest. Da da da. Good luck. So it's kind of like, um, why would you kinda, how do you say? We made it to Division I football. This is the top of the top, right? And I think it's like 1% in the whole world that makes it to that level,
right,
Division I. Division I scholarship. So, how could you put us in that box, in that statistic of us not making it in this industry? Yeah, it's a hard industry, but you gotta choose your hard.
right,
But if we made it in football, we were that 1%. Why couldn't we translate this? Why not us?
right,
And then the mindset and the things that we've gone through in life, with our mothers, like my mother passed away my freshman year of college. And when that happened, it was more like nothing can really hurt me. Nothing can you can't do nothing to me. I already was down at the bottom. So it took about 6 months to a year to shift my mindset to where like I could kind of do whatever comes my way. Imma do. Like, you know
right,
what I mean? Imma hustle for it, and we all share that quality. So, um, yeah, and then she always instilled in me, like, "Louis, you can do it." Like, you know what I mean? I come from a family of 6, 3 brothers, 3 sisters, and I was the second youngest one, but my little brother got, given to my uncle and my auntie because they couldn't have kids, so I'm pretty much the youngest one, and so she was always like, "Louis, you got this," and yeah, just to see, like, how hard she fought to put gifts on the table, Christmas, we ain't got no money. Like, you know what I mean? Food, like X, Y, and Z. So it kind of was a seed that was planted in me that, dude, she's right. I could do anything, if I really, so I work hard, um, got a scholarship, things like that. And then when football ended for me, I was still discovering myself. I went through, some depression, seasonal, and then when I met these guys too, I was kind of just telling them my journey, but we all kind of connected and we all agreed on like, why not us? You feel
right,
me? Like, and if not us, then who? Like in our family line, like in this generation,
Mm.
like who's gonna do it? So you might as well swing now.
right,
Um, and I'll tell you this too. We didn't make it because we are the biggest, the smartest, the this or that. We're gonna out hustle you. We're gonna outwork you. And no
but you
matter
are.
yeah,
You
yeah,
are
well,
the smartest.
but yeah,
You are the
mhm,
biggest. You
mhm,
are the strongest.
yeah. But I think we just there's a humbleness in that culture. Yeah, I
Right,
mean, people will say that, but the outside looking in, we put so much like, we're not just, yeah, yeah, our first name Louis Trey Vito, but it's our last name. You know what I mean?
right,
Your first name gonna introduce you, but your last name gonna carry you around the world. So how are you gonna represent? And so that's what we all share. So mindset, like you said, I know you said we are the smartest, but
right,
to us, it's like, if you claim that already, there's no room for growth.
right,
How are you gonna grow if you're already gonna claim that? So that's specifically my mindset, but we all agree on it. There's room for. I know the food 10 out of 10. Even if you tell me 10 out of 10, I'm like, it could be better. Like, you know what I
Most
mean? But
definitely.
we do reflect. There are moments that we do reflect, and hey, we have to appreciate where we're at, so we can be ready for where we're going next. But that's just the mindset. It's a you won't outwork us, you won't out hustle us, and we might not get you in a month, we might not get you in 6 months, but we gonna get it. You feel me?
Right.
And that's just the mindset, and we're all in. But that's kind of my kind of how I would interject my journey from doing big things in football and to the entrepreneurial world. Because, brother, we are not the same. Like, when but
Right.
humbly though,
Right.
like I'm like you said, we're gonna work. We're gonna do whatever it takes. We were in a trailer. The trailer don't even. We didn't even know we needed a generator. You know what I mean? We didn't know electricity. Our first ever event. We
Right.
pulled up. I told people, hey, because we started delivering food at the was it
Yeah,
delivering food?
was delivering pickups.
Anything, and then shoot, I left my corporate job one day. I called them, hey guys, come outside. I got an emergency. They rush outside. Boom, I got a big bright red food tray
Yeah.
outside. I said, hey, now we gotta do something.
Now we are.
Hey, yeah. Now we
Right.
gotta do something. Like we
Right.
keep talking about this thing, like
Right.
let's do it. But I mean,
I was
just from
upset that
then,
day.
yeah.
I was upset that day. I was upset that day because I saw like you get that job, and I saw you interview that job. I saw you like do all of the things to get that. That was a good paying job. And I was like, this is like what you're gonna need to set you up so that you could do what you really wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I think that it's challenging when people are from like setting from the outside looking in, and you don't understand like what's going on. You don't understand like the person's heart. You don't understand like that drive. I always tell people like you got that dog in you. No one's gonna know what that dog in you looks like but you. And that's why I tell people all the time, like, it's important for you to bet on yourself. That day you bet on yourself. You're like, all right, I'm finna throw away this, 120 grand corporate job away and I'm gonna go do my own thing. And that was like after I calmed down,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It was tasting the food and then seeing like that it wasn't just something that you were doing in vain, but something that was bigger than, and I wouldn't say bigger than what I believed in. It was just for me, there were steps that you should take.
Yeah.
And those steps, like you were like, nah, I'm not gonna take a step, blah 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 blah. I'm just gonna go from here to here. And you like, and I got Vito and I got Trey, and we're gonna be good. And I was just kind of like, hey, like the only thing you can do is go out and support. So like eating the food, trying the food, and Trey, Trey had made mac and cheese for us before. So Cheyenne's nickname is actually macaroni. Um, there was a time where Cheyenne would not eat anything but Trey's mac and cheese. Like you couldn't get her to eat anything but mac and cheese. And so it evolved from Trey's mac and cheese to Teresa's mac and cheese. And then whenever we would go out to eat, all she would eat was mac and cheese. So her nickname is macaroni. And when we know that you guys are cooking or something like that, she's like, "Can we go get macaroni?" And I'm like, "It's not macaroni. Like it's mac and cheese. It's Trey's mac and cheese, but you're also eating Wavez." And so it's just kind of like I think when you look at all of that and you come full circle with your journeys and where you've been and where you want to go and the challenges that have happened, like not just in your life, but also in business, there's always going to be like haters and naysayers. It doesn't matter what industry you're in.
Yeah.
There's always going to be somebody who has something negative or ugly to say. And it's always a reflection of like what's inside of them because they don't have like a perspective of like what that looks like, they don't understand that journey of like of what it took for you to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. Takes a lot. It takes a lot. And like you said, shout out to our moms again, because
Yeah.
that's the best mac and cheese I ever, and all our recipes are from our moms, you know. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing how everything kind of came together. So it's all our mom's recipes, really, literally from, and then because I'm raised in Hawaii and Alaska, raised in Louisiana, raised in Samoa, but it comes together, and that's what created Waves. But it starts off with our moms. But I would say too, circling back to when you said he was mad that day with the trailer. These boys didn't hesitate. They
Right.
jumped. I'm like, hey, but I think it's one thing that like all of us we bond on too is we have strong faith. We believe in God.
Right.
We're big on energy and like it was a lot of prayers. Best believe it wasn't no like I'm just gonna get a check. Like nah, I prayed or prayed or prayed. They're like,
Right.
you sure? Like I'm like man, this job is paying me X Y. But it wasn't filling my cup.
Right.
And we all have higher education
Well, Trey too.
enough. Yeah.
He was working in Homeland Security. He had like a job, and I was just like, "You guys are good." Like, it was a moment for me where I could like rest at night. Like, no,
Uh,
that the job was good, you know. And then it was just like, no, like we got to go out and do a little razzle dazzle and do something a little bit different. I'm like, can y'all just give me like, just a little bit of time? Like I got my own stuff I got going on, like, and it's not your responsibility to carry those things for people, but I feel like when you love people
yeah.
and you care about people and you've like planted seeds and you're watching like that harvest come to life, like you take a personal like taking to what happens to these people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you have to separate yourself kind of like from that motherly, like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared for you, like I'm worried for you, like what is this gonna look like, you have to separate yourself from that. And I think that having you guys kind of just say like, hey, we love you, thank you, but like we're gonna do our own thing and this is how we're doing it. I think that wasn't a challenge for you. That was a moment for me to be like, okay, like
Yeah.
y'all have enough lessons and enough space to be able to just go out and be great on yourself, like by yourself. You don't need somebody else to be great. Like, and I think that that's where, even in my own sons, in Mateo and Danielito, like I have to step back sometimes. I'm, on the court and I'm like yelling what to do. And I'm like, you know what? I need to just shut the hell up and like let my boys be great. I think that that's a trauma response into like not having that be done for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I'm trying to do that for my sons, like I think you can stunt someone's growth by always trying to make sure that they're good in what makes you feel like they're good.
Mm-hmm.
And so having to just kind of like step back and watch you guys and like be great on your own, that was like that's a proud thing for me because y'all did it and you didn't need me or anybody else to do it.
God did.
God.
So we said God did. Well, yeah.
But so the name Waves, I think that's it's not just a name, it's not just a brand. Well, it's
It's a brand, but
our brand, but
right,
like it's deeper than just that. Like,
right,
'cause we live our life like that. Like we live like a wave. We go where the flow is. We do what our hearts say. We live on faith, and we just people may say whatever we do sounds stupid, looks stupid, y'all crazy, but we don't care. As long as these two guys believe in me and vice versa, we just go to it, put our head down, and get it. Like this, a restaurant we're getting ready to open. This was a goal we had, just sitting on the front yard, chilling.
Yeah.
Hey man, if we do this, we do that.
right.
Louis giving me exact. Louis a little different here. He's off. He's off. This is my brother. He's a little off though,
Tell him,
but he's in his head. He's like, man, bro, if we get this many followers on Instagram, if we do this, man, we could make this amount of money. Like at first, it's like, whoa, slow down.
Yeah.
But it all
So
makes
your
sense.
personalities are a lot different.
Yeah, yeah.
Leo and I talk about this sometimes about how like your mindset is the most important thing like in entrepreneurship and in life.
Mm.
Louis is more of a like dreamer and then go do that. And
Most
he's
definitely.
he's gonna dream it and then he's gonna go do it. He's gonna recruit a couple people to come with him, which was you two, and he's just gonna go find a way to do it. Where Trey, you're more analytical and you're like, I need this to make sense for me. Like, what are the steps? And what happens when we get to these steps? And then what happens after that? And Vito's kind of just like,
Vito gonna ride.
I'm gonna go wherever you say,
Yeah.
like,
Vito gonna ride.
cause I'm just gonna ride, like for real. And so like when you have that synergy of all three of you together, I think that it creates an opportunity for you to do what you've done right now. Yeah, you've been in it a year and a half, but we talk about this a lot. How many no's have you gotten on financing? How many no's?
Hella knows.
Like how many?
Hella
And
knows.
it's hard to take those no's not personal because it feels like there are people not believing in your dream and what you want to do.
Yeah.
But I think that
I got something to say with that one too.
Yeah, most definitely.
like you have missed opportunities where people like don't invest in you. They don't invest in your dream. They don't invest in your hard work.
Right.
They don't invest in the blood, sweat, and tears where, at the end of the day, you actually have a really great product, because that's what it is. It's food. It's product, it's food. It tastes hella good.
Yeah.
If you guys are ever in Las Cruces, like y'all need to come eat this. There are people like celebrities who have come straight through Las Cruces on purpose to eat your food. Like that speaks to like not just the quality of your product, but the quality of your dream and the quality of your intention. So when people don't wanna invest in that, like,
That's
what did
okay.
that it's
Yeah,
okay.
it's okay.
It's motivation to us.
Motivation, yeah. And then going back to when you said the haters, you're gonna hear we don't listen to that, you know? Like how you said how we all have different qualities. Like Vito can, man, this man could do it all. Like there's nothing he can't do. He's more analytical. I'm the dreamer. I'm a hustle. But I'll say another thing we all agree on. We do not listen to nobody. Like we kind of look at it as like, it's not our fault God didn't give you that vision.
Right,
It's not your job to see.
right,
Your even ears too. It's like, okay, God didn't tell me that. He told us something different,
right.
and we're gonna ride. But you will get so many no's. Like, I mean, to and it's okay. Like, so that there was 3 times that Waves, man, we almost had to give it up, hang it up because it's so hard to to live, as in making money, paying your bills, chasing your dream, having relationships and doing your other social life things. It was a hard balance. And um, the first moment when we had the food trailer, and I'm gonna keep it real too. I won't say no names, but we were in a 6 months lease to own deal, right? And after 6 months, after the person saw that we were doing good, he tried to triple our rent.
Yeah,
It
I
it
remember
went
that.
from 1,000 a month to, hey, I went to go resign. "Hey, man, we wanna resign for a year." He was like, "Okay, it's gonna be 3,000 a month." We were like I was kinda like, "What?" Hold on, I went back to the boys. I'm a heavy dreamer. So I'm like,
Right.
"Hey, okay, well, he said this, um, let's just hustle more. We can be this." And they're like, "Louie, no." They're like, "We're gonna be working for free." But I was like, "But if we" So, yeah, they heard me out, but then I was like, "You know what? You guys are right." Like, so I went back. I was like, "Hey, sorry, like, we don't agree." And
Right.
so there was a place that we used to park at, that we went and told them that we are supposed to be there, like, a certain weekend. We're like, "Hey, man, wave is over. We had a good run. This guy, we don't have a food truck no more." And so he was like, "What? I actually have a commercial building, the next door. Like, I'm not utilizing it as long as you can, transfer the permit, whoopty whoop." I was like, "What? You'd really do that?" I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, well, how much is it going to be?" And he said, "Free." Like, pay it forward. And, as long as
Blessings.
yeah, it's blessings. So we're like, "Oh, shoot." So I go back to the guys like, "Bro, our dream is on. Like, our dream, we could keep going." Yeah. I'm like, "What? We can keep going." And so, boom. But they did give us a timeline, right? To hey, you do have 6 months because we're gonna renovate. We're gonna do something with that building. So for the next 6 months, it was like we either work 2 or 3 days a week out of the pickup lobby. But we needed to. I mean, I'm talking. I don't even get into the details, but wasn't an ideal situation. Even the food trailer that we had, whenever we were in it, it would shake.
Tip.
We
You can
yeah,
see
it
like
would shake over. You
one
can see it shake over. What's going on over
we
there?
would sit back and we be like,
Yeah.
you can see what one someone moved from one place to the other.
All right, you gotta sit on one side. I'll sit over here. Trey, you be in the middle. You know what I mean? We were just figuring it out. And then after 6 months went by, we're like, okay, what's next? They kind of told us. Well, we're like, okay, well, I think we can get a loan. Like, let me go get a loan. Uh, man, they said goodbye to me as fast as I walked in there. And try to get a business on. They're like, well, what's your credit like? I was like, credit.
What's that?
Okay, yeah, yeah, look it up. Like, my social is da 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 da. Like, oh yeah, yeah. Goodbye, sir. Yeah, have a good evening. I said, oh, okay, whatever. And then we ended up meeting some people. Great program. It was a state program. It was like a grant loan. And keep in mind, so now it's a year in. So this the 6 months in the pickup lobby is about to be done. And so we're like, dude, they might be over for us again. But then I got connected with some people to get the grant state loan. And they're okay, cool. Like it'll probably be like a 6 month process. So by then, boom, whatever your requested amount, you'll most likely get. I'm
Right.
like, heck yeah. So I go tell them, they're like, oh hell yeah, the dream keep going, the marathon continues.
Right.
And so we had another pickup lobby. Shout out to the people too along the way with with this waves journey, because without you guys, man, we wouldn't have
Most
been here.
definitely.
So 6 months go by, boom. We're working that pickup lobby, same thing, 2, 3 days out the week, grinding, grinding. Not knowing that it's going to our framework of how our restaurant's gonna be. But yeah, boom, towards the end of that 6 months, we know we're about to get out. The guys, the program we're working with, we're like, okay, heck yeah, we about to, it's time to get our money. We had requested an X amount, I believe it was like 80,000. And so by the fall of 2024, right? So now this is, yeah, but the fall of
Yeah.
2024, 6 months go by. We ready. It's like September, October. So we're ready to get the news. And then he gives me a call like, hey Lou, I got some bad news for you. Like, pretty much the grant, like you guys aren't gonna be eligible for it. It's gonna go away. He fought his hardest too. I'm like, man, is there anything like I'll give up, my right leg for this? I was like, this can't be it. This can't
Right.
be it. And so, he tried his best, So now it's October, end of September, we're supposed to get that loan, that grant loan. So we all came together and we were like, hey, what do we want to do with our lives? Like, do we want to continue this waves, or is it gonna be over with? Like, and we all came together and it was just like, okay, well, this is what we'll do. If we really believe in this, we all gotta go and go work right now, save up some money, and that's how waves continued. Yeah, I had went up to Alaska for like 4 months, and then these guys were working hard in their jobs, locally and even out the state, like just doing whatever we could
Just hustling.
to keep the dream alive. Because we had so many reasons to give up, but you
Right.
got to find that, you
Right.
got to find that why, like,
Right.
and then if you got, like I said, some solid people in your corner, like I didn't even listen to nobody else but these two as well. Like as long as they were in, I was in. So, um, that's how we got to Waves here. That third time almost took us out, though. I'll tell you that,
Mm.
because you're just, I mean, it's just having faith, having faith in it, and you can't see it, right? But we believe it's there.
Right.
Um, but you gotta have extreme faith, you gotta be a little delusional.
Yeah.
Hello, that's me. You gotta be a little delusional.
Most definitely.
Um, and then just have your people in your corner. But yeah, that's how we got here, and that's how we were able to. I think March or April of 2025, we were able to secure a restaurant space, and it's in the works to be open in July. So it'll be 525 East Madrid. And the waves goes on.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
So I think that like too when you're talking about like your journey, entrepreneur journey, I think people are social media especially like they have an outside perspective of looking in, but they don't know like inside your box what it looks like from the frame down. And like a lot of people are standing in water, they're drowning. I know for me personally, like I experienced burnout for the first time in, you know, 2022. You were there,
Yeah.
and it was kind of like what does what how what do you pull from inside of you when you feel like you don't have anything else to give? Like you've given everything, your time, your money, blood, sweat, tears, like your mental capacity.
Mhm.
You've given everything to this dream, to this delusion, and that you feel like when you get those no's like that people don't believe in, but when you're walking in that and I always tell people like you always know that your purpose is greater than yourself, like because of the things that happen to make everything fall into place.
Yeah.
And you talk about faith a lot and your faith in God and like my faith in creator and the traditional way that I live and the things that we do. We're prayerful people. Like we've been praying since time immemorial. Like when you sit there and you're praying and the question becomes like, who exactly are you praying to? Like and what's the purpose in that? Like I've sat with that with myself, like, And that was, like, at my lowest. And then there's always just a thing that shows me that this is what I was supposed to be doing. Because if I ever had something, like, planted in my head that this was what I was supposed to be doing, this dream, this idea of what I'm walking in is so different than what you would have told me I was supposed to be doing when I was 10 or 11. I tell people all the time, if you would have told me at 10 or 11 that I would be doing what I'm doing right now, I'd sock you in your damn face. Like, hello. Cause I feel for real. I would literally punch you in the face because that thing that I was going through as a kid and then having to relive that in a different way as an adult experiencing burnout. I think that journey of coming full circle is so powerful because the challenges don't stop. Like they're not gonna stop today, they're not gonna stop tomorrow. Like they're gonna keep going, right? But I feel like somewhere along the way, you just experience so much hardship and you experience so much of the, mental taxing and burnout and checking your circle again and doing all those things like it solidifies to you that you are working and walking in your purpose. And so um there are always gonna be haters, there's always gonna be people that are gonna tell you that, like, they could do it better, but at the end of the day, like, they're literally on the outside looking in, and so, like, if you could do it better, then do it better, but, like, this hustle, this story, this journey is unmatched, and, I wanna end it with giving you guys the opportunity to, like, share with the Chingona Achievement Hour, like, if you could tell yourself, whether it was as a kid or as an entrepreneur, like, if you could give yourself one word of advice, like, what would that be?
For
Lito.
myself,
Shit, you gonna go left or right? I would say to never give up on yourself. Like believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, pick yourself up, still doing what you believe and what you dream on. Um, Nothing's gonna stop you.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Uh, pretty much the same like that. Probably tell myself just don't let nobody tell you no. If you could, if you could see it, you could have it.
Yeah.
If you want it, grab it. It's yours. Like don't let no one around you or anybody tell you what you can't do. Basically, like the sky's the limit. Take that literally. The sky's the limit. If you say you could do it, do it. That's pretty much it.
hell yeah. If I could go back and tell my younger self, I would shoot grit. Grit. Don't give up. Grit is having that just that toughness of whatever comes your way, you will get through it. You might not see it. It might not seem in the moment. But you got to weather the storm. You got to know on the other side of the storm is paradise. It's greatness, it's waves. So I would tell myself that keep going, and keep listening to your mom. You know what I mean? Like when you said earlier,
Definitely.
when you said when you get burnout, man, we all have experienced it. For me personally, like I said, faith, but like I hear my mom's voice personally. You know what I mean? Um, she ain't ever been wrong. Keep going, son, keep going. And so that's my why. And these guys too. These are my brothers. Like if I win, they win. If he win, we win. He win. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a togetherness thing. So yeah, I would say grit, keep going, and waves. How waves started, and the name of waves is we're big on energy. So if we're not around you, it's because you might be a weirdo. No offense, no offense. No, I'm kidding. But it's the energy you put out is what you get back in. So that's what waves means to us. And we believe in energy, and energy moves in wavelengths. So that's part of the name of waves. And then our ancestors got here by way of waves. We're from the islands. You know what I mean? We're this land here. Yeah, it's native, it's indigenous land, but we feel connected to it, and we got here by way of waves, and so, that's kind of my spiel on what I would tell my younger self. So,
You navigated the stars
mhm.
so you could be here.
We all got the waves tatted too.
If y'all didn't notice, we all got waves tatted on us, so it's inked in. It's in the blood.
It's in blood.
It's in blood, so it's like and even we're kind of fortunate enough. Man, someone told us he's a mentor. We look up to this guy, but he was like, man, one of the great things about you guys, why y'all keep going is like y'all don't mind struggling. And we were like, okay. And then when we walked away, we were kind of like, man, we ain't got no choice, man. We were like, what you mean y'all don't mind struggling? Like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, did someone talk? I'm talking about like, man, it's so much crazy stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like details wise, but yeah, that 10, 20 years from now that we could start revealing,
Yeah.
Right.
how we had to get it out the mud, literally. But yeah, just stuff like that. We don't mind struggling, and then like you said, for us right now, all we have is each other, out here. Yeah, we have loved ones and chosen family, but these are my brothers, and when you're facing burnout, when you're facing hardships, and it's kind of like, well, I ain't got nothing to lose. Feel me? Like right now, like in the current position right now, now we're fortunate, to get the restaurant and everything. But on the come up on this journey, we had nothing to lose. So
Right.
why not swing? You know what I mean? Like we came from nothing. Like,
Right.
what's the worst that can happen if we fail?
Right.
We didn't come from nothing. So like, you know what I mean? It's like, well, shoot. So you got to choose your battles of your hardships and how you're gonna live your life. Um, and that's like I said, that's the definition of waves. That's what we are. It's a lifestyle. It's a mindset. It's an energy. You know what I mean? It comes together. You got to trust on the other side that it will all come together. You know.
I think for me, like what I'm hearing is like solidifies that I say this a lot about resilience and like you don't have a choice. And I think a lot of people get offended when they talk about when they hear the word resilience. I think in the face of like all of the challenges and all of the things that you've been through, like sometimes your only choice is to only be resilient. And like you can give up, you can check out, you can do all the things, decide to like, I'm not gonna go this route anymore. I'm gonna go get that corporate job. I'm gonna go do this. No, I think that like your mindset has to be so powerful and so like set that even to want to do it, even to want to get up and live in that dream. I'm talking to myself right now because I'm kind of having a journey, like a moment in my journey where I'm like, do I want to keep doing this? Like, it doesn't seem like it's getting easier. It seems like it's getting harder. But like at the end of the day, that mindset to just be resilient and keep going, like there is nothing else that I know how to do. And maybe that some of it is rooted in trauma, but I also think that it's a gift that our ancestors gave us, like
It's different.
to continue on those hard journeys, to continue like when we get those no's and when the doors close and when you're asking yourself like, is this something that I want to keep doing? Like those conversations are the hardest ones. So giving your younger self or people who are in your like position who are thinking about doing what they want to do, like that's kind of a gift that you continue to share with community and you're still planting seeds in someone else and you don't even know that you're doing that
Mm.
because there's someone watching what you're doing. And sometimes they're haters. They wish they could do what you do. And sometimes they're just real supporters who are proud of you. And so I just want you guys to know that I am very, very proud of you.
Thank
I'm really
you.
excited.
We're proud of you too.
I'm excited for your guys' journey. I'm excited for the restaurant. I'm excited for the grand opening. I love the purple y'all got going on. Like I'm really, really proud of you guys. And so um I think sometimes it's easy to tell somebody that you're proud of them, but like when you've seen them and they've struggled with you and you've always been there for me. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional. We send each other text messages, you guys, at the beginning of like the fall, winter, because that's when I get seasonal depression like really bad. And I'll send him a text and I'm like, checking in, buddy. Like, are you ready?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you ready for the down season? Like, let's make sure that we're here to support each other. And I'm always grateful for that whether it's just like a funny meme or,
Yeah.
native people, indigenous people have like some wild
Dark humor.
dark humor.
Humor, yeah, yeah.
I couldn't send some of the stuff that we send to other people about like what we're going through, but that's how we get through it. Like we get through it that way in community.
Mhm.
And so um If you guys are not following Waves, they're on Instagram, and
Waves Food, Wavez.
there you
The first
go.
one to pop up.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you guys are in Las Cruces, be sure to stop by and tell us the address of the restaurant again.
Yeah, 525 East Madrid, Suite 1. Just follow the smells, follow the vibes. It was direct you there.
Yeah.
And shout out to our merch. If you want exclusive Waves merch, it is Desert Styles LLC. They're a husband and wife owned business here locally in Las Cruces. So we will drop a link to the exclusive merch. Um, yeah, so we appreciate you for having us and
Yeah.
men's mental health this month. So
Right.
I would say it's okay not to be okay. So I got these guys too. Like,
Right.
man, we go through it, man. Like in our we're in our own world, living in each other's world, if that makes
Right.
sense. And so it's okay to share, because with this mindset we have, it's not a guarantee that you're gonna make. Yeah, we have these solid mindsets, but it's not a guarantee that you're gonna be solid year round.
Right.
There's a couple times, but we can lean on each other, and it's okay not to be okay. But you're gonna be okay. You know what I mean? Take a little breather. Sit
Sometimes a
with your
hug.
boys. Yeah, hug. 30
Like
second
I
hug.
said him the other day, I was like,
Yeah.
Daniel's deployed, and I'm like, can I get a hug? Like, I just need a good hug. Like, I just need a hug, like, non-sexual. Like, I need a hug. Release of,
There's a study, like I think
yeah,
30 seconds, like it relieves a lot of anxiety, stress, stuff
right.
like this. So even with us, man, when we're dapping each other up, a hug, like, but it's okay to not to be, be okay.
I went to Mateo and Oscar's house just to get hugs. I was like, can I come over for, I just need some really good hugs.
So
So
come to Waves. He's giving away free hugs.
you should get a shirt that says Waves free
Yeah,
hugs.
It's for Louis. Louis
Yeah,
Waves,
on
he giving
Sunday
free
and Monday,
hugs.
but we're open Tuesday through Saturday, so it might not be there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but no, I was thank you guys for coming on.
Free hugs, free vibes, but you got to pay for the food. That's all we ask, Keep our lights on.
Hey, that's a little moniker. We will run that one back so you can
Okay.
copyright it.
Yeah, that was hello.
But yeah, thank you guys again for coming.
That's is up, Samo.
Yeah. And if you guys are in Las Cruces, come check out Waves. Follow them on social media. And yeah, be good to yourselves. Be good to others.